And I'm losing control.
The landscape of the digital ether is forever changing. It molds the temporary occupants, and you mold it. The starving mechanical phantom relies on a constant flow of new posts, new followers, new users, new websites, and new apps. In recent time, an app has been consumed and absorbed into the bloated social conscience, TikTok. Today, my friends, we shall look at one specific user of said app, a 29-year-old woman called Courtni. TikTok is infamous for low-grade, low-quality videos, produced with little thought in the aim of short-term gain. So you can imagine my surprise when I was introduced to an in-depth textured story that is reminiscent of a TLC show. Courtni Monday is the creator of a story called Don't Take My Babies. Courtni has uploaded hundreds of short videos and hours worth of imaginative storytelling, which has collectively grown the 2 TikTok accounts which she uses to upload the Don't Take My Babies story over 2.3 million likes and 122,000 followers. Don't Take My Babies has amassed more likes than currently there are people living in Estonia. Explaining Don't Take My Babies is complicated to say the least. With so many videos spread across 2 accounts, it is easy to accidentally miss something out. Not to mention, Courtni fairly recently deleted a lot of the older videos. And so if I do miss anything out... Our story begins when Courtni's sister seeks comfort from her after being abused by her partner.
Hey, come on, sit down. Where's the kids? Well, he needs to bring them over to my house. Because you and the kids are not going back over there. I am tired of him hitting you. I'm tired of him cheating on you. If you're just coming over to argue, then you should just leave right now. Yeah, okay, bye. Oh, and if he hits you again, don't call me.
So as you can see, the whole series is in her head, and I'll address this in more detail later on. For now, all that's important is that Angela, Courtni's invisible sister, is being abused. Now Angela has children, and Courtni is not going to allow them to grow up in a violent atmosphere. So for the next 2 videos, Courtni attempts to coerce her sister into giving her kids over, leaving Angela with an ultimatum.
If you want to go be with him, have at it. There's the door. But remember, until you let him go, those kids are staying with me.
Several videos on, and Angela is still with the abusive boyfriend, while Courtni takes care of her kids. We discover, while on a phone call to her mum, that Courtni is pregnant and has decided not to tell her partner Seth.
With everything that's going on with Angela and the kids, I haven't had a period in over a month.
She does eventually tell him, however, several videos later, and he isn't happy about it.
Seth, what are you doing? Seth!
In fact, he dumps her.
You're dumping me?
Fast forward, and Courtni receives a court date for the custody battle over her sister Angela's kids. Courtni's sister Angela has decided to give over her 3 kids just to keep the horrid boyfriend Steve. This means if Courtni loses the custody battle, Angela and Courtni lose the kids. Courtni wins the battle, don't worry, and she also steals Angela's abusive boyfriend. That's right, Courtni decides getting with a woman beater is a great idea, and her and Stephen hook up. Stephen and Courtni keep this hookup from Angela for a time, but the premature birth of her child, Isabella,
Hurry up and labor!
and Stephen's proposal in the hospital prompts Courtni to come clean when her sister Angela catches sight of Stephen's proposal ring.
It's just Angela.
As you can probably guess, Angela is not pleased. However, Courtni doesn't allow Angela's discontent to get in the way. Jump forward a few, and we're shocked to find Stephen, after being in some kind of accident, is lying unresponsive in a hospital bed.
Is he gonna be okay? I
Courtney never loses faith, and eventually Stephen rises from the dead with only a few missing toes.
Steve, you're awake.
While Stephen is in surgery having his toes amputated, Angela and Seth decide to steal Courtney's kids. This starts a huge police hunt, and the police eventually find Angela and Seth's hideout and set up a raid.
Oh my god, I see her. I'm coming for you. Okay. 1, 2.
Courtney gets her kids back and Seth and Angela break up. Months roll on, and after lots of planning,
Yeah, I'm gonna choose this white kiddo.
we finally arrive at the wedding of Courtney and Stephen.
You want to start or you want? Okay. Steven, I love you so much. Whenever I think of true happiness, I think of you. I can't wait to spend eternity with you.
Jubilation. Sadly, their marriage doesn't last long at all. In fact, the honeymoon marks the end of that whole fiasco.
Sam, stop. No. Steve, I didn't mean it, Steve.
It is said by many, when it rains, it pours. And sadly, that would be the case for poor Courtney, as after she arrives home from her failed honeymoon, her mother is struck by a vehicle.
Oh, there she is. Oh my god, Mom!
After toil, tears and time, Courtney's mother, who at this point has been in a vehicle collision and suffered a stroke,
Mama had a stroke.
does thankfully survive. Courtney picks herself up after Stephen,
Bye, boys. Mama's getting her a new man.
and it isn't long before a man sweeps in.
I met a guy.
After a karaoke night on the town, Courtney finds a love interest called JT.
Tell me about it, stud. I got chills, love multiplying.
However, as JT has a daughter of his own who is a bad influence on Courtney's daughter, she is unsure as to how much of a healthy influence he would have on her kids, and therefore decides not to get with JT. Instead opting for a man called Brandon. After meeting him online, Courtney decides to take a trip with Brandon to Disney World.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
And returns home pregnant.
What are we gonna do?
Courtney and Brandon are forced to hook up and decide to return to Disney World, where Brandon and Courtney get engaged.
Look, that one's about to say something. Courtney, will you marry me? Brandon?
It isn't long, however, before trouble starts brewing. Angela decides to take Courtney to court over the kids, and once again the rain pours.
Sit now. I'm done with you, Angela. You told me to give them up, Brandon. What was I supposed to do? Just go, okay, kids, I'm giving y'all up. I don't love y'all enough, even though I do.
Courtney keeps her birth kids on shared custody, but loses her 2 adopted kids. While on a break from Brandon, Courtney gets close with JT and decides to break up with Brandon due to him assisting Angela in conjunction with the court case. Oh, and the fact he already had a wife. 3 years pass, and in this period, Courtney has delivered a child called Claire and fallen in love with JT. Also, her daughter is a teen pregnancy with twins, and she manages to get her kids back from Angela. JT proposes to Courtney.
What are you doing, JT?
And we arrive at the wedding.
When I look into your eyes, I see a man. I knew you were the one for me.
Don't Take My Babies is still continuously being created with new episodes released each week, and therefore what I've covered here is not the entire series. The creative effort required to continuously produce Don't Take My Babies is astounding. After watching Don't Take My Babies for hours, you consequently adjust to the lack of other actors and seemingly slip into the mind of Courtni. I suspect the absorption into the series is almost 100% a consequence of Courtni's acting. You begin watching with a curiosity focused on the lack of set and actors, and leave curious as to how the story will progress. I decided to reach out to Courtni to ask a few questions surrounding the series. She very kindly agreed to do a short interview. Okay, I got everything set up properly. Yeah. Okay. First question. Why did you start making Don't Take My Babies?
Okay, so basically it was supposed to be like a point of view type thing, and then people was like wanting more, and I got like a lot of views on it, so I started making more, and then I was just like, okay, I need a name for this, and I'm like, boom, Don't Take My Babies.
Is it planned ahead of time or is it all just improvised?
It's just improv.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's really no planning 2 videos ahead or anything. It really is just all improvised.
Right.
Are any of the characters in Don't Take My Babies based on actual people in your life, or are they all just random characters? You just come up with them and go with it?
Some of them are random, but JT, he's actually a real person. I've never met him. So is Brandon. I've never met him either.
Oh, really?
But I think the rest of them, for the most part, they're just like random. They're just random people. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. What's your life like outside TikTok?
I love reading. I love listening to country music. I love spending time with my family, my nieces and nephew. And when I'm not doing that, babysitting most of the time.
Has TikTok changed your life in a good way or in a bad way or in any way?
It has definitely changed my life for the better. Yeah.
For the better? In what way has it made your life better? Has it improved it in some way?
Well, I was bullied as a child, and so having so many fans love me and care for me, that's like a big part. Like, that's really cool. And I just always thought I was this like little lonely person that no one liked until I joined TikTok and I got so many views and so many likes and all of that. And then people started saying that they're my biggest fan and they love me. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Have you ever? I think you have actually. I think you did a TikTok on it. Have you ever actually had a fan moment where you've met a fan in the actual streets in real life?
Yeah, actually, I was in Walmart and someone came up to me and said, "This is a weird question, but are you on TikTok?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she goes, "Can I take a picture with you?" I was like, "Sure." And then in that moment, I'm like, "Wow, that actually happened."
The amount of people following I think it's your main account. So I think it's either follows or likes. It might be likes. It's actually more people than live in Norway. Like this, you
Right.
have a massive following. It's quite impressive. Would you consider yourself famous, or do you just kind of think you're just the same person and you're not famous?
I mean, like sometimes I think I am, but sometimes I'm like, no, not really, because a lot of people, they have like billions and billions of likes, and I'm over here with just like a million or a couple million, and I'm like, I don't know. But then everybody's like, girl, you're famous.
In your story, are you yourself, or are you a different person and like a different character?
I'm actually, yeah, my name is Courtney in in like real life and in the Don't Take My Babies.
Mm. Yeah, so you really do play yourself basically in the when do you think you're going to end the series? If you ever will end the series, when?
I'm thinking of making maybe a couple more. It won't be like per se the "Don't Take My Babies," but it could be like maybe just for example, "Don't Take My Mother" or "Don't Take My Father," or in those kind of like things.
Oh right, that's interesting. So it would just be like a whole new series. So you're saying you might end "Don't Take My Babies," but then you'll always have something else planned
Right.
that you'll
I'll
do.
probably like have the same characters,
Mm.
and let's just say we get a dog and somebody tries to take the dog. It could be like, "Don't take my dog" or
Oh
something.
yeah, I guess that would work, wouldn't it? Yeah. That's really cool. So that's all the questions I have for you, Courtney, and I really appreciate you taking the time. And so that's the story of Courtney Monday's Don't Take My Babies. If you have enjoyed this video and would like to see more videos on interesting topics and strange internet creations, then why not subscribe? I would like to end this video by giving a huge thank you to Courtney, who really kindly helped in the creation of this video and overall was really kind. I'll include links in the description, so be sure to check them out. And thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.